Hot Rize used to play at this place in Louisville, Kentucky, called the Kentucky Center for the Arts. It was run by a guy named Dick Van Cleek. He got somehow wind of this opportunity to put a show together for the State Department, U.S. Information Agency. And so he got Sam Bush, and he said, Sam, let's just put a thing together. And so it was John Cowan, me, and Laurie Lewis who came together for this one and only time. I don't even know why they picked me, because I was the guitar player and I was primarily the bass player in Hot Rize. So, but the reality is I got picked. It was Bulgaria, what was then Czechoslovakia, and Turkey. So we would be deposited in these countries and handed to these cultural groups that would drive us around and book all our gigs. So we got to Bulgaria, and it was just really fascinating. In 1990, the Berlin Wall came down in December of '89. So this is just a few months after that. And Bulgaria was a communist bloc country that was completely confused as to who it is, what it is, who's in, who's out. So I had this kind of an epiphany one day where we were playing at the place called the Palace of Culture in Sofia, and big sold-out crowd and reception afterwards, and all this incredible diversity. People came to the show and came to the party. You know, guys with crazy military uniforms and poets with berets and, you know, Communist Party leaders, and it's just a really unusual group who didn't like each other, you know, didn't get along. But they came together around the music, and it was one of those just great reminders, very palpable, tangible reminder of music's power to bring people together. In walking around this capital city, this old Roman city, I couldn't help but notice that the air was pretty bad. It was like, what's wrong with the air? I can only see like 2 or 3 blocks. And it was cold, coal-fired everything. It just somehow clicked in me, this glimpse into a future that if we don't take care of ourselves and the planet, that's the way everything's gonna be. That's the way the whole world's gonna look. Air was bad, the water was bad, you know, it just felt like this place had been poisoned. And I was not an informed, well-read environmentalist. I wasn't somebody who was, you know, in a particular movement of any kind. I was just a guitar player. But I was also a dad. I had 3 kids. And so literally on that trip, I came up with this stuff started germinating in my mind. And I came up with this idea for a radio show that would combine those 2 things. The power of live music to bring people together, you know, diversity of music, and then, you know, some way, whether it's through interviews or reporting, journalism, that we could stimulate the conversation, the dialogue around sustainability and climate change and renewable energy and clean power and sustainable agriculture. So that was the genesis of eTown. It all happened on that trip. So I came home from that trip with those ideas, but I didn't have a lot of information or knowledge. I didn't even know how to organize my thinking. But I was so inspired by public radio and live radio that I thought, yeah, this is gonna be great. And I called NPR and I said, hey, it's Nick Forster from Hot Rize. I got this great idea for a radio show. And it's gonna be music and environment and conversation. It's gonna be great. They said, well, what's the working title of the program? And I thought, it's called eTown. And that was the first time I'd actually said the word. Then I thought about other E words: entertainment, environment, energy, education, enlightenment. It was percolating, but I'd never actually said it. And they said, well, go away. Go away, you know. It's not how it happens. You have to get 5 years worth of funding. You have to put the show in development for 5 years, you know, learn how to, you know, make a good radio show. You've never produced any radio. So go away, come back when you've got some money and some experience. So that's when Helen started coming into my world and saying, oh, sweetie, is there something I can do? Do you want some help? You know, do you want me to help, you know, with this? We agreed that it was a good idea. And the next thing that needed to happen was to create a pilot. So we made a big commitment. We said, all right, we're just gonna rent the Boulder Theater. We're gonna rent a mobile recording truck. We're gonna hire a band. We're gonna hire some musicians. I'm gonna interview some policy wonks. And record everything and decided to launch it on Earth Day in April of 1991, April 22nd.
From the historic Boulder Theater in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, it's eTown, coming to you from NPR, National Public Radio. And here's your host, Nick Forrester.
Thank you, Helen. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us this week in eTown. Each week we get together to hear some great live music and along the way some conversation and information about the world we live in. In fact, eTown is more than just the usual folk, blues, Afro, Billy, Enviro news hour. It's unique. It's eTown.